everybody doing out there? It's your boy JW3, and I'd like to thank you for listening to and tuning into Cloth Talk. I'm feeling great this morning, and I hope that everybody out there is feeling the same way. I'll be discussing part 3 and 4 of The Last Dance, so let's get to it. So it starts off in the Doug Collins, Michael Jordan era. Doug Collins coached Michael Jordan to an MVP, All-Star Game MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and scoring champion. But Jordan couldn't get out the first round, putting up great numbers, but he can't win a championship like Magic. He can't lead nobody to a championship like Bird. Heck, not even Isaiah. Is he even up there with Kareem and Will? I mean, he's a great dunker, but I mean, can he win? That was the knock on Michael Jordan before ever, getting past, the first round. Could he even win a title? Because nothing but great centers have won up to this point. So Michael Jordan was breaking into a new mode, but was getting swept. Finally, when he faced the Cavaliers, and this Cavaliers team, in my opinion, was championship level, was championship cloth, with Larry Nance, Brad Daugherty, Craig Elo, Steve Kerr, Hot Rod, Ron Harper, Mark Price. That was a championship level team right there that Jordan beat. And once he finally got over that hump, I think that's when he really turned the page of his career. Now, he told one reporter, "We got you out the way." And then told another one, we got you out the way. And then told another reporter, "Now we about to get you out the way." I would have never put Craig Elo in that situation to defend Michael Jordan. I would have put Ron Harper on him. Craig Elo did have 15 points in that fourth quarter, but you gotta go down with your best defender. You can't go down with Craig Elo defending Michael Jordan. I'm sorry. So they get past them, and that's where the rise of, the Pistons-Bulls rivalry starts to commence. This is where Jordan rules start to happen. And, this is where the growth of Michael Jordan as a player and Scottie Pippen as a player, starts to happen. I just want to just say, too, Scottie Pippen had a migraine Game 7. Now, this is his sidekick. Could you imagine if Kyrie had a migraine Game 7 of the finals against the Warriors? Oh my God. Like, this is really my second best player, and he got a migraine. A migraine, bro. And migraines are serious, but damn, I felt bad for Jordan because he could have got over the hump that year. But Detroit was a great team. They had, one of the greatest point guards of all time in Isaiah Thomas. They had a great coaching staff, with Coach Daly. They had a great team with Joe Dumars, with Adrian Dantley. Well, not even with that Adrian Dantley. I'm thinking of Mark Aguirre. I'm tripping with Rick Mahorn. You got Vinny Microwave Johnson. That's the original Jamal Crawford, the original Lou Williams. And also, this was the rise of Dennis Rodman. He was a second round, 27th pick. Now, being a second round pick, and especially 27th, is stacked against you. But he worked hard. His mother kicked him out the house at 18 years old. He was homeless for 2 years. He ended up transferring, to college. First, he went to North Central College, then transferred to Southeastern Oklahoma, and that's where he got drafted. But he was under veterans and great leadership, and that's what kept him in line and kept him focused. He found his niche in rebounding and playing defense. With this, this is when he knew, this is where he knew he could excel at defense and defensive rebounding. And this is what led him to have an all-star appearance and also win a Defensive Player of the Year award. This is where Dennis Rodman would be at his highest, mental state, I could say, probably as a player, but it was also because of people being around him and nurturing him and, letting him be little brother and letting him, grow as a man. That's something that he probably never had. And that stability was needed for him. Also, this was the rise of Phil Jackson and Tex, Coach Tex, the creator of the triangle offense as well. Now, during this time, while Phil Jackson was on the rise, Coach Daly gets fired. Dennis Rodman goes into a depression because he looks up to Coach Daly. He has a rifle in his hand and he's about to, kill himself in the Pistons parking lot. They ultimately end up trading Dennis, and this is where the second Dennis Rodman comes into play. This is where the hair color, this is where the technical fouls and all this stuff comes into play. He dates Madonna. Madonna is already world-renowned, famous. She brings clout to Dennis Rodman world. She brings the press to Dennis Rodman world. He was just known as a basketball player, but now he's known as, oh, you're Madonna's boyfriend. With this attitude, Dennis Rodman kicks his own self out the damn league. I'm not even gonna fake. But he has the numbers to back him up. He's literally the best rebounder in the league, and he's 6'7", 6'8". But he can't find a team. Nobody wants to take a chance on him after the Spurs release him. Finally, somebody in the Bulls organization goes to Phil Jackson and says, I think we need to have a meeting with Dennis Rodman, for defensive purposes. Now, who better to understand Dennis Rodman than, hippie wonder himself, Phil Jackson. LSD trip himself, Phil Jackson. So I felt like this was a match made in player coach heaven right here, because you got two players. When Phil Jackson played, he was scrappy, and that's how, Dennis Rodman earned his money. So they knew each other from that cloth, from that scrappy cloth. Now, Pippen was out. Of course, he was out, for salary reasons and foot. Dennis Rodman was the second player. He was that second guy was supposed to take that mantle, and he did a hell of a job. This is when he starts excelling more at scoring and, as a sidekick. But Pippen comes back. And this is where the friction happens. Pippen, becomes second wing again, second man, and Dennis has to fall in that third role. And it's like, it's like almost being at a job and you do the job and then somebody come to your job and be like, oh, well, that's really my position. That's really how it, that's how I felt. Like, Dennis Rodman felt like he got shitted on low-key in a way. And they had a 24-10 record without Pippen before this. So they was sitting at all straws. Of course, Pippen made them a juggernaut, but they was already doing good. This forces Dennis Rodman to want to take a vacation from the loyalty. And so he goes to Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan and says, I need to go to Las Vegas for 48 hours. This man goes to Vegas for 48 hours. Could you imagine if any other player did that? KD, Kyrie, I need a 48-hour trip to clear my head. What the fuck? But it works. And this is where they hit their stride. Dennis comes back. Mentally sane. He comes back hitting all cylinders, and this is where the Bulls reach their peak. Part 5 and 6 is coming as well, so I really can't go into too much detail. I just want to just say that was amazing documentary, and also it just speaks to black men and how we need to address mental health at an earlier stage in life, because I feel like carrying around this burden, of pride and ego and, not knowing yourself. And I'm not knocking Dennis Rodman when I say this, but you will go down the path like Dennis Rodman if you don't know yourself as a person. If you let other people, sway the way you want to live, the way you want to think, you kind of go crazy, because you're going to try to find your own identity and you don't even know who you are. So this is what I want to say. Figure out, yourself mentally when you young, and try to find mentors for people to be around, because you can end up on a path where you don't know who you are, and you letting people dictate your future and dictate, the way ideas should be ran by, and the way the way you should live is dictated by somebody else. And then once you find that happiness and you find that peace, that's when you will truly know. But I know I'm getting sidetracked, but I just wanted to just say, all black men, find mental health as well. Don't be so caught up in making money. Don't be so caught up in, making people happy. Don't get so caught up in the lifestyle, because the lifestyle is going to start to show in the physical appearance. It's going to start to show in the actions that you do. It's going to start to show. So make sure that everything is right from the inside, so, that the outside, everything can just be manageable and attainable. With Dennis Rodman, you can tell the difference between the mentors that he had early in his Pistons career, and then when he went and didn't have any mentors and nobody to, talk to, nobody to lean on. That's where he goes crazy at. This is where the second Dennis Rodman comes into play. Now, I don't know if this is the real Dennis Rodman, but I'm not even sure if Dennis Rodman knows who Dennis Rodman is at this point. And that's some real shit. That's some real cloth right there. I just want to just tell, men, and this is just me going off a tangent. This is not me, looking at notes or nothing. So it may sound everywhere, but find yourself ultimately at the end of the day, before you drive yourself crazy or into an oblivion where you don't know yourself. Once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning into and listening to the show. I'll be back with part 5 and 6. And close!